All right. Welcome back. Chukwudi Okoliobaja is in the house. I just want to annoy him.
Don't laugh me into not giving you an assignment. Your job here is not complete if you don't form a song out of Good Morning Nigeria. We're looking out for that song. How are you, lady and gentlemen?
That's ladylike.
All right, let's quickly begin with the leadership. Victor, you have two. I think you should start.
Let me begin with the New Telegraph. And it leads with this major story, of course, as expected. Speculations over Tinubu sacks. Speculations over as Tinubu sacks Uju Kennedy, Tahir, 3 other ministers in cabinet rejig. Of course, that story has riders nominates Bianca Ojukwu, 6 others. Others renaming, merging, scrapping of ministries. Appoints Sunday Dari as media aide. Okes Diko as DG of NSC. Clark faults scrapping of Niger Delta Ministry. Says lumping NDDC together with other regional commissions unhealthy. Of course, that story is spread across pages 4, 6, and 31. And there's this picture story of the Delta State Governor Sheriff Oborewori admiring a souvenir presented to him by the acting MDCAN chairman, Delsuits, and the rest of them. And beside that story, you have PDP postpones NEC meeting to stop Ayedatiwa as Governor Mohammed says he didn't take party to court. That story is on page 2. Why Obasanjo Danjuma wants paradigm shift in political leadership. Page 7. Ganduje's alleged bribery case cut to hear pending applications November 20. That's on page 4. And suspicious vehicle. UK's Birmingham airport evacuated. All flights suspended. Page 6. And at the bottom of the front page of the New Telegraph, FEC OK's 443.3 million euros, $141 million facility from financiers to procure fighter jets ammunition. And finally, unclaimed baggage at MMA2 destroyed, given to charity after 6 months, says COO. Okay, that's Chief Operating Officer, I suppose. And that takes us to the blueprint. Again, the same story leads here. FEC OK's 443.3 million euros, $141 million for 6 M346 fighter aircraft ammunition. Approves establishment of Creative Economy Fund. And then the picture story of the FEC meeting of yesterday, which came out with so much. Clark rejects scrapping of Niger Delta Ministry as Tinubu drops Tahir, 4 other ministers. We've read the details of that story earlier. And in sports, Diko heads NSC as Tinubu scraps sports ministry, page 32. Ododo increases monthly pension of Kogi retirees by 10,000 naira, page 9. IMF comments CBN's forex reforms, aggressive interest rate hikes, page 21. That's on business. I think we should leave it here.
You don't have any more to read.
I do, actually.
All right, let's take the leadership and almost all the stories. And of course, we know the story that is trending at the moment. It's a headline news on the leadership. Victor has also alluded to that, but you can see the picture of the main people that are leading the headline stories. Of course, Kennedy Ohanenye there, Maman, Tahiri, Adejon, Gwarzo, Bill, Ibrahim, all on the front page there. But just a bit above the nameplate, FCCPC blames hoarders for food inflation and scarcity. And FG drops charges against Binance executive. Other stories, of course, just on the window side, on the right-hand column, that should be to your left. Senate calls for summit over out-of-school children. Details of that story is on page 6. I think let's bring in Chukwudi Okolugbaja. Chukwudi, I think we are discussing in full today the cabinet reshuffle. So we'll just probably do a quick review
Oh yeah,
of that. Yes.
I guess we can just talk about. Let me quickly talk about the, the reinforcement we're bringing into the combat, capabilities of our
Okay.
forces. I read about the M346 fighter aircraft being planned, some 5 days ago. I'm actually happy that FEC has given its official stamp to it. I'm not a military analyst, but if you look at the trend now, much of the fighting is borne by the Air Force or whatever air power each wing of the forces, can muster. So we are only trying to update ourselves and see if we can stop the enemy being ahead of us. In the case of Nigerian insurgents and bandits and the rest of them, we must be able to become minute men. In the army, the minute man is that man who prepares for battle within 5 minutes of hearing the bugle. So it's about our battle readiness. I really I'm grateful that this has happened. The real news now,
Sorry,
Yes.
you remember, I think during the presidency of Obama, there was an attempt to acquire, not an attempt, yes, but I think there was an embargo on that.
yes.
That's the super. So what was the name of that?
But the Tucanos eventually came in.
Yes.
Yes, they eventually came in.
Yes.
12
So,
of them.
yes.
6 came in first. The other 6 joined. They initially had reservations because they said
Yes.
we will subject it to use that runs contrary to the contractual terms that enable the United States government to give you such aircraft.
So to what use have we deployed them?
I am not in the theater of operation.
Of course, I know.
And certain things are restricted.
I think
you
those
and
were-
I judge by the result we see on
see.
the ground.
Those were
Are we seeing?
concerns.
Yeah.
Those were concerns
Yes.
at that time. Whether the concerns, became valid eventually, well, we may
Nobody
not know.
put it to the test.
Or those were just concerns.
But in the case of Israel, for instance, the latest they're telling them is you're using the aircraft for what runs contrary to our constitution. And this last time, from last week, they really mean it. Maybe that's why Netanyahu is beginning to soften up a bit.
They really mean it?
I said they really mean it this time around.
Do they?
Oh, it's okay.
Well, that's not
when
for
I
us.
saw
We're just raising issues about this latest
Exactly. I'm just trying to draw comparisons.
Yes, 141 million.
the Americans stick to certain things about how they live their lives, even though we say that sometimes their policeman duty all over the world does not quite benefit us. The ministries now,
Anyway,
let's quickly just do a one-liner on it because you're going to talk extensively about it. Let
Precisely.
the experts do that. The questions that arise is this the correct shot in the arm we need for things to be reinvigorated so that the Nigerian voter sees more action coming from those elected to, oversee his or her affairs. So we only hope that this has been thoroughly, checked and found out to be the best way to go. Government is always in the know about, they say who wears the shoe knows where it does what? It pinches, So let's pray that is the right action that have been taken.
FCCPC
Yes.
blames hoarders for food inflation and security. Is this something new, or is it telling us what we already know?
No, you are blaming editors for making news what isn't news to us. So don't. The point is this: why would hoarding be allowed to go on and on? Isn't there an agency, tasked with making sure that such things don't happen? So if I were the editor there, I'm going to say, when I saw this, I will go to say, they're blaming hoarding for it. Why are you guys not doing your work? That's where the news is. I know editors have different discretions about
But
that.
even then, hoarding as a strategy, how long can you hoard food? And what kind of food can you hoard? For how long?
Well,
If indeed that's the case.
a tomato is perishable.
Okay, listen
How long can you hold
to what the FCCPC is saying. Though the FCCPC Act prescribes stiff penalties ranging from heavy fines to jail terms for offenders, Bello, who is the boss of the FCC, told Kano stakeholders that the Commission chooses to first explore the option of dialogue in the spirit of democracy. Who are you dialoguing with?
Is the dialogue working? As I always say, I can't sit in the studio here and tell the Minister of Agriculture how best to farm, because he has people who know about how the ministry will work more than I do. So is dialogue working? If it's not working, what's the next step? Because the hoarding continues.
Okay, let's look at the outdoor.
I'm not sure
Okay.
hoarding is what the issue is. I'm not sure.
No,
you can't hoard. There are a lot of food kinds that you can't hoard for long.
For long, but you
They
say
go bad. So
don't dismiss it.
Is it
outrightly.
Is the food prices that occasion this, isn't it? But the truth, really, to me, my own private survey, is that the reason food prices are high in this country today is because the North is not allowed to farm the way they used to farm.
And let's not forget the
I
impact of
hear we are even taking some food items to the North now. And I tell Nigerians, when everybody wants to run into their tents and form up their countries and all that, I say you now have opportunity to know how important the Northerner is to the rest of us.
Let's not also forget,
Do you understand?
Let's not also forget the impact of flooding. It really caused a lot of
Wonderful.
devastation. Yes,
Ecological
yes,
reasons.
and this is where the state executives also need to, do something about climate change. This is where the people, also need to do something about our habits, our behavior, how we dump,
Thank you.
sachet, you call pure water sachet, and all those things, bottles, plastics,
Pure water sachet clear. If you see fish washed up on the shore, go and check his bowels. You'll meet plastic there. That's it.
Terrible.
You plant yam. Nyere does not want me to talk about farming all the time. You plant yam, it meets plastic in the soil there. It stops, the tuber stops protruding in there. Plastic stops you dead. We have to take care of plastic.
Okay, there's another one, Victor. Senate calls for a summit over out-of-school children. Long overdue, would you say?
Senate calls for summit. Talk shops work, but
I was just
action
going there.
speaks louder than words. Many of the things I said, for instance, the other time, I started reading about storage facilities for farmers when I was in primary 4, 1968. Today, 2024, I'll be 67 years on December 5. We are still talking about storage facilities for farmers. It's not come yet. That's a problem. We have to get to work and make words become action.
I'm not sure I see what the talk shop is going to reveal that is not already known. So why not just get to it?
Let's get to work.
You spend money to put together a show, and then eventually that may not even be adhered to. So you know what the issues are. It's all out there. Why not just get to work?
Victor, you know one of the things I tell my children, I tell them, your father can't be called a rich man today because he didn't plan his life properly, effectively. Multi-streaming of income avenues is supposed to be taught in schools. Money sense should be taught from primary 1. To become a rich man is an arrangement. We don't have it. Build it into the curriculum. All the torrential I speak, I don't know how many houses it has fetched for me. But do you know that getting our children to learn skills from 5 could make all the difference before they turn 30 in life? Many things need to be changed the way we behave.
Yes,
and make us more prosperous people on a very prosperous land God gave us.
And we need to address the fundamental, or root cause of out of school.
Yes.
Some of those children are forced out of school.
I agree.
Compelled to be out
I
of school
agree.
by circumstances.
Out of school syndrome indicts us not just as parents, not just as governments, but as society. In those days, you see a child on the road. What are you doing here? Why are you not in school?
Exactly.
You're not the father. You give him one. Why you? Or he's in school uniform. In the excuse that it is recess time. He goes from picking cherry into the market and all that. You chase him back to school. Our attitude to learning changed. First of all, Yahoo boys are beginning to tell us that it is not good to be educated. But I want to tell you, any society that does not have an academic backbone will never succeed. Even as we say that skills are coming. It's not skills that make you become a NASA scientist. You have to read properly.
It's not late yet. I think we can still, because every day there are still young ones under 5 who can still be taught some of these things.
It's never late to mend. That's
so
an English proverb.
We'll leave it here, right?
Okay.
So that you can see we are thanking you properly. We are not thanking you out
I
of the studio.
know. I'm packing already. I've got the message.
We wish you a great day.
Thank you.
All right. You're watching Good Morning Nigeria. Don't go away. We'll be right back.